creating the first ever Game of Thrones Olympics. We're gonna build teams of 3 using Game of Thrones characters and have them compete in 5 spectacular competitions that I came up with myself. And I'm not talking sword fighting either, because that's too boring. Then, the best AI, ChatGPT, is gonna tell us all the incredible events that unfold during each competition. And in the end, we will find out which team is truly better than all the rest. Our first challenge for today's contestants is a game I like to call Betrayal. And we are going to hire a random guy to walk up to a team member in a tavern, and they need to befriend him. Befriend him nice and easy. Over the course of 3 days, that's 3 days they have to befriend this person and build up their bond. And on the 4th day, Betray Day, they have to betray this person they built up this bond with as hard as they can. They can get him killed. They can get him arrested. They can steal something from him. Anything goes. But the better they build up their relationship and the harder they take him down, the more points they win. The first team to compete is up. 2 members are chosen at random while 1 is handpicked by the team lead. This is Team Winter's Rose! They'll pick 1 person from their team to compete. As Egret, I would choose Marjorie Tyrell to play in the Betrayal competition. Go Marjorie, I love you! Oh, Queen Marjorie! On day 1, Marjorie Tyrell enters the tavern, her warm demeanor and natural charm immediately captivating the attention of those present. Spotting the selected man, she deftly navigates the room to initiate a conversation, complimenting him on his choice of drink, expressing interest in his stories, and making him feel like the most important person in the room. As Marjorie does! As they continue to converse, Marjorie suddenly finds common ground with him on a myriad of topics, from the hardships of the common folk to shared tales of bravado and adventure. She finishes the day by ensuring he feels a genuine connection with her, intrigued and eager for more interaction. On day 2, Marjorie builds upon the rapport she established, suddenly shifting the relationship to a deeper level. She starts to confide in the man, sharing personal stories and displaying a sense of vulnerability that further strengthens their bond. She talks about her struggles in the royal court, which feels like an act of trust and makes him feel special. Furthermore, she invites him to join her in charity work around the city. She explains how she finds solace in helping the less fortunate, appealing to his empathetic side. During this time, they work side by side, sharing laughter and heartfelt moments, making their bond appear unshakable. Marjorie's natural charisma, coupled with her kindness and vulnerability, leaves a lasting impact, making him utterly unsuspecting of the impending betrayal. On day 3, Marjorie capitalizes on the trust she's built. She arranges a small private feast in his honor at the tavern. What the fuck? She's going off! Where she praises his charitable work in front of the local townsfolk. The event further solidifies her camaraderie and places him at the center of attention, something he clearly relishes. In a quiet moment, she gives him a symbolic token, a rose brooch from her personal collection, claiming it belongs to her grandmother. The sentimentality of the gift and the trust in him with a family heirloom adds another layer to their friendship. They share more personal stories and aspirations into the night, fostering a sense of intimate companionship. By the end of day 3, he completely trusts Marjorie and sees her as a true friend, setting the stage perfectly for the final act of betrayal. Eddard! Oh god! The man in the tavern name is Eddard, a nod to the noble and beloved character Ed Stark in Game of Thrones series. He's a blacksmith by trade and a local of the town. During their charity work, they get a moment to rest and share some mead. Marjorie brings up a conversation about their respective trades, genuinely interested in his life as a blacksmith. She asks Eddard, "How did you come to be a blacksmith? It seems such a physically demanding job." He smiles, wiping sweat off his brow. "It is, Lady Marjorie, but there's something gratifying about it. Every time I strike metal on the anvil, I give shape to something new, something useful. My father was a blacksmith and his father before him. It's a family tradition, you could say." Marjorie nods, showing admiration. "That's wonderful, Eddard. It's like me and my rose gardens, petting a seed and watching it grow into something beautiful. We might not be so different, you and I." Eddard chuckled, clearly flattered. "I never thought I'd see the day where a blacksmith is compared to the lady of the court, but I see your point, milady." Let's see if Marjorie can bring it home. She has set up the pins perfectly, majestically. This could be a full 10 across the board if she's able to take this man down to his fucking knees. Let's see what happens. On the final day, day 4, Marjorie's plan for the ultimate betrayal comes into effect. She approaches Eddard in the morning with a concerned expression, claiming that she's received a threatening letter that puts both of their lives at risk. She suggests that they must leave town for a while until things settle down, and Eddard, concerned for Marjorie, readily agrees. They set off on horseback, supposedly to a safe house. Oh my god. They're on their journey. They are ambushed by a group of men. Marjorie plays the frightened damsel, and Eddard, believing that in their friendship, fights valiantly to protect her. However, it soon becomes apparent that Marjorie orchestrated the ambush when she gives a signal and the men cease their attack, seizing Eddard. She reveals to a shocked and hurt Eddard that she was behind the attack. She expresses regret but states that it was a necessary move to protect her family's interests. Eddard is taken away by the men, feeling the sting of betrayal while Marjorie watches them go with an unreadable expression. This is harsh betrayal, not just a betrayal of trust, but also manipulation of emotions and ultimately getting Eddard captured. It's a powerful play showcasing Marjorie's ability to convincingly play the long game, manipulate situations, and convincingly lie, all to ensure her own survival. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Marjorie Tyrell gets this man straight up arrested and fought and beaten up just for all the games we are playing today. At this year's Olympics, me, chat, and ChatGPT are the judges. We're gonna rate the teams 1 to 10 to determine the winners and the losers. Who do you think is gonna come in first? And who do you think is gonna come in dead last? Drop a comment below that has nothing to do with what I just said. Here's my rating on this. I'm basing this on how good the build-up was and how good the takedown was. The build-up was so good, but I actually think the betrayal leaves a little bit to be desired. She expresses regret, but states that it was necessary to move on to protect her friend. See, I think she could have been a little bit more just cold-blooded and just cut him off. So I'm gonna give this out of a 1 out of 10. I'm gonna give this a good 8. I ended up increasing her score to a 9 later. We'll average out chat's rating. 10. I'm not expecting it to be Ramsey. All right, let's see what ChatGPT gives. A 9. So we got 8, 9, 10. Okay. Considering the magnitude of the betrayal and the sophisticated manipulation used to build and then shatter the bond, I would rate Marjorie's performance a solid 9 out of 10. Her ability to portray herself as a trusted friend while setting up the trap was masterful. However, the slight deduction is due to the emotional impact of the betrayal. While it was undoubtedly severe, it may have been amplified even more if she played on a deeply personal secret, or trust that Eddard had revealed to her during her interactions instead of a fabricated external threat. Nonetheless, it was potent performance that successfully achieved this goal. We are off to a fantastic start. The next team up is the Unseen Blades! As Arya Stark for the competition of betrayal, I would choose Melisandre to play. Melisandre possesses a deep understanding of manipulation and has shown a willingness to make difficult choices for the greater good. Melisandre, how are you feeling today? For you are the person competing in today's betrayal competition. I'm gonna do really good. I'm gonna put leeches in the fire. That's excellent, Melisandre. Let's see how you did days 1 through 3. Melisandre enters the tavern, her enigmatic aura immediately drawing attention. She finds a seat next to a man named Corwin, a merchant from the Free Cities. She strikes up a conversation about the local customs, her foreign accent making her an object of intrigue for Corwin. They talk long into the night, sharing tales of different lands and cultures. Melisandre uses her mystique and charm to weave a connection with Corwin, making him fascinated and curious about the mysterious woman he's met. Day 2, Melisandre meets Corwin again at the tavern, this time offering her to read his future in the flames, an offer he can't resist due to his fascination with her. As she gazes into the fire, she speaks of a prosperous future. She tells him he's Azor Ahai, of successful trade ventures and increasing wealth. Her predictions leave Corwin awestruck, reinforcing belief in their unique connection. Melisandre also shares some personal stories about her life in Ashaya, including her struggles and loneliness, drawing Corwin further into her web of manipulation. Day 3. Sensing a need to deepen their bond further, Melisandre invites Corwin to join her near a ritual to bless his future endeavors. Moved by her apparent concern for his well-being, he eagerly agrees. The ritual is a simple one, but with enough spectacle and ambiguity to leave Corwin feeling both included and in awe of Melisandre's apparent powers. She makes him promise to keep the ritual a secret, stressing on the importance of trust between them. This shared secret serves to bind Corwin more strongly to Melisandre, setting the stage for the final act of betrayal. Okay! Over the first 3 days, Melisandre and Corwin share a range of conversations that deepen their bond. They talk about their respective cultures, with Corwin sharing tales of his merchant travels and Melisandre painting a vivid picture of the distant and mysterious Ashai, or Asshat as I like to call it. One evening, Melisandre says, "Corwin, it's a rare privilege to meet someone as open to the wonders of the world as you are. Your journey sounds fascinating." Corwin, clearly flattered, replies, "Thank you, Melisandre, but your life sounds far more exciting. Being able to see visions in the flames, that's extraordinary." On day 2, as Melisandre shares her personal tales, Corwin expresses his sympathy. "It must have been lonely, Melisandre, being so far away from home with such a heavy responsibility." "Yes, it has, Corwin," Melisandre replies with a touch of sadness in her voice, "but it's a path I chose, and meeting kindred spirits like you makes the journey less lonely." During the ritual on day 3, Corwin is awed by Melisandre's apparent powers and feels a sense of inclusion and trust. I can't believe I'm a part of something so powerful. Thank you, Melisandre. Her words of assurance echo in his mind. Remember, Corwin, this is our secret. It's a bond between us, a testament to our friendship. These conversations and shared experiences lead Corwin to view Melisandre as a trusted friend, a fascinating mystery, and a comforting presence, further deepening his attachment to her and setting him up for the final act of betrayal. Let's see how day 4, the betrayal, goes. On the 4th day, Betray Day, Melisandre implements her master plan. She confides in Corwin that there's a dangerous prophecy involving him that she's seen in her flames. Corwin, having fully trusted Melisandre by now, is shaken but listens intently. She tells him of a dark entity threatening his life and that a protection ritual is required to save him. However, she adds it necessitates a temporary arrest by the local guards for it to be effective. A hard pill to swallow, but Corwin, completely entrusting his life to Melisandre, agrees. With Corwin's consent, Melisandre takes him to the local authorities under the guise of a theft accusation. Corwin, believing this to be part of the ritual, goes along with it. Once he's taken into custody, Melisandre reveals her betrayal, admitting there was no prophecy or threat. Corwin is left stunned and hurt as the realization of his naivety, and Melisandre's betrayal sinks in. The betrayal plays an emotional manipulation, and Corwin's complete faith in Melisandre. She not only gets him arrested, but also shatters his belief system, delivering a powerful blow. And another person getting arrested just for the sake of the Game of Thrones Olympics. I think she actually let him off easier than Marjorie did. She didn't stick the landing. So I think her setup was worse than Marjorie's, actually. I'm gonna give her a 7 on this one. I'm gonna give her a 7. This was good. This was definitely good. Well played. She's at 7 out of 10. She's only missing 3 points. Wasn't the best. Maybe I give her a 7.5. As a judge, I would rate this performance an 8.5 out of 10. Melisandre demonstrated a well-planned and executed scheme that played on her strengths as a character. Her mystique, her ability to manipulate through prophecy, and emotional management. The betrayal was layered and emotionally devastating for Corwin, who had not only placed his trust in Melisandre, but also let her influence his belief system. Have a good point. However, the deduction comes from the fact that Melisandre used her common modus operandi of prophetic manipulation. A more personalized or unsuspecting form of betrayal would have resulted in a higher score. I'll be nice and say an 8 maybe. I'm balancing a good setup score with the lower execution score. Yeah, I'm down to raise her to an 8. Up next, they call themselves the Iron Flames! As Tyrion Lannister for the competition portrayal, I would choose Daenerys. They chose Dany to represent our team. While Khal Drogo possesses strength and combat prowess, this challenge requires more finesse and manipulation, which is not his strong suit. Alright, Team Iron Flames! How are you feeling today, John? I think they're going to be doing great. They set up Daenerys Targaryen to be their betrayer. Now, she is fiery, she is beautiful, and she is conniving. I think she's going to do a fantastic job today. She's going to set this guy up so fucking well, just like she did Jorah, just like the Masters in Astapor, just like Dario Naharis. Set them all up and took them all down. Day 1. Daenerys, captivating and commanding as ever, enters the tavern and promptly gets attention. She chooses a seat near a jovial man named Torben, a skilled blacksmith, another blacksmith, known for his high-quality work and good-natured humor. Daenerys starts a conversation asking about his craft and expressing her admiration for those who can shape raw materials into useful tools. They talk into the night, Daenerys listening intently to Torben's tales of forging, sharing some tales of her own journey, and laying the groundwork for a genuine bond. Torben's tales of forging, what a great start. Dany's starting to get this guy loving her. He sees her and they're talking about blacksmithing, they're talking about smithing, they're talking about smiths. Day 2, Daenerys spends the day learning more about Torben's craft, visiting his forge and showing a keen interest in his work. She shares stories of the Dothraki and the Unsullied, discussing the importance of good weaponry in her battles and campaigns. The exchange is not just one-sided. Daenerys also listens to Torben's thoughts and techniques, creating an atmosphere of mutual respect. This shared interest in his craft deepens Torben's trust in Daenerys and her regard for him. And on day 3, on the 3rd day, Daenerys brings Torben a piece of unique metal she mentioned in her story. She expressed her wish to see it turn into a weapon under his skilled hands. Oh, that's fucking good! This act of trust and respect takes their relationship to a new level. Torben, moved by her trust and his own growing affection for the Targaryen queen, promises to forge her a weapon that will be his masterpiece. The day ends with Torben starting to work on a special project, with Daenerys looking on in anticipation, setting the stage for the impending betrayal. Wow, that was a good fucking turnaround where she gave him a piece of metal. She blended the things that he learned about him, his skills, and then said, hey, make me a special piece that's just for me. She is bringing this guy down hard. All right, let's see. Let's get a little bit more info about what happens. On day 1, as they settle into conversation, Daenerys compliments Torben Your craft is admirable, Torben. It takes a strong heart and steady hands to create something so valuable from a mere piece of metal. Woo! Torben, charmed by her praise, responds, and it takes a strong heart and steady resolve to lead a kingdom, Daenerys. Your story is quite the tale. Oh, this boy! On day 2, Daenerys visits Torben's forest. She remarks, this place, it's a battlefield on its own, right, Torben? The heat, the sparks, the transformation, it's a war between what was and what will be. Torben, appreciating her understanding, replies, I've never thought about it that way, Daenerys. You have a way of seeing things, a different perspective. And by day 3, their bond has deepened. Upon receiving the unique metal, Torben thanks Daenerys. This is an honor, Daenerys. You trust me to forge a weapon from this, and that means a lot. I promise you, it will be my finest work yet. Daenerys, her eyes filled with anticipation, replies, I know it will be, Torben. I trust your skills and dedication. These interactions stir mutual respect and trust between the two, setting the stage perfectly for the Betray Day. Let's see how she seals the motherfucking deal. Dany has set herself up to be very put on a pedestal in this man Torben's eyes. He loves her. He likes her. He thinks she's amazing. He has a piece of special metal that she has given him that he is going to forge into something just for Dany. Let's see how his greatest joy all comes crumbling to ash in fire and blood. Daenerys approaches Torben in the forge where he's just about to give the finishing touches to the weapon. She admires his masterpiece, praises his skill, and then, in an unexpected move, claims that the weapon was made using stolen metal, a grave crime. She tells him that as a queen, she cannot let this injustice pass, even though he's her friend. With her dragons flying above the forge and her loyal followers standing by, she takes Torben into custody. Why is everyone taking everyone to jail, promising him a fair trial, but the evidence is stacked against him. The unique metal can easily be tracked back to its original owner thanks to Daenerys' influence and connections. Torben is shell-shocked, unable to comprehend the sudden betrayal by someone he trusted and respected. He pleads his innocence, but Daenerys stands unmoved, her regal demeanor intact. She ensures Torben is taken away by the guards, leaving him in a state of disbelief, and the weapon he had crafted with so much pride and care becomes a symbol of his downfall, marking a betrayal that's hard and impactful. Okay, that was pretty fucking good. I'm down to 8.5. I like the takedown. I like the piece of the adding the metal. I thought that was good. She stands unmoved. I like how she didn't give a fuck. Marjorie was kind of like, I feel like she said she kind of regretted it. But see, I love that how she's like, I'm gonna stick with it. 7.75 overall. I'm a lower setup score overall, but solid payoff. Problem is I still don't think it comes out quite as bad as the other two because the connection is more business than personal. As a judge, I'll rate Daenerys' performance 9 out of 10. Her approach was methodical and layered. The bond she formed with Torben was not superficial. It was based on mutual respect and shared interests, making the betrayal more impactful when it happened. The way she led him to unknowingly incriminate himself by forging a weapon from the supposed stolen metal was a clever use of his trust and skills. Lastly, the manner in which she ensured justice was delivered added another layer of complexity to the betrayal. However, the emotional shock value was slightly lessened by her immediate promise of a fair trial. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Very good point. Which gave a glimmer of hope to Torben. Overall, Daenerys demonstrated a masterful execution of the task, the room for a small improvement in the emotional impact. All right, I'm down for. I'm gonna give her an 8. I'm gonna give her an 8. Because that fair trial part is a very good point. There's been some pretty stiff competition. Let's see if the next team can handle the heat. This team is mind over matter. As Bran started team lead, I would choose Tyrion Lannister. As expected, to participate in the betrayal competition, Tyrion's exceptional wit and intelligence make him well suited for this challenge. Alright, Tyrion Lannister is the chosen person from Mind Over Matter, the team that has the brains and no bronze, except for the little that Theon brings to the table. Tyrion has killed his own father before, so I think that he has some pretty good say in how to betray people. Isn't that right, John? Yes, Barry, I think that's a great point in mentioning that. Day 1, Tyrion Lannister, with his wit and fondness for taverns, takes to his task like a fish to water. He quickly locates a potential friend, a somewhat gruff but amicable stable master named Beric, who seems interested in conversation and companionship. Tyrion spends most of the evening sharing jokes, stories, and drinks with Beric. The two find common ground in their tales of managing demanding people. Tyrion with his family and Beric with the horse owners. Beric, initially skeptical of Tyrion's attention, gradually warms up to the dwarf's charm and wit. Tyrion, in turn, offers empathetic responses and insightful advice on dealing with troublesome customers. As the evening wears on, Beric seems genuinely amused and interested in his new companion, setting the foundation for a budding friendship. Alright, day 2. On the second day, Tyrion visits Beric's stable. Ooh, that's a good one, showing interest in his work and even helping out a bit. This helps him to better understand Beric's life and profession. Tyrion engages Beric in deeper conversations about their lives, pulling out stories from Beric about his family back home and his dreams for the future. Tyrion makes it a point to also share some of his own struggles, making the interaction less one-sided and more of an equal exchange. The shared confidences and mutual assistance create a stronger bond between the two. By the end of the day, Beric appreciates Tyrion's understanding and camaraderie, looking forward to their meeting the next day. Boy, he's got a good-ass friend! Day 3, Tyrion continues to strengthen the bond on the third day, sharing meals and even a few horse rides with Beric. He brings Beric a fine bottle of wine, an unspoken token of their growing friendship. The stable master is clearly touched by this gesture, and the two enjoy a relaxed day full of laughter and good-natured banter. The shared bottle of wine is symbolic of their friendship. As they drink and chat into the night, they become less of strangers and more of friends. The stage is set for the 4th day, Betrayal Day, with the bond between Tyrion and Beric now stronger than ever. On day 1, one of their conversations steers towards dealing with difficult people, with Tyrion offering the trick is to know what they truly desire. Everyone wants something, Beric. If you know what it is, you can steer them, make them easier to manage. Beric responds with a grin. Well, that's one way to handle a stubborn horse, or stubborn lord, I suppose. Day 2's deepening of their bond is marked by shared stories and dreams. Beric shares, I've always wanted to breed my own line of horses, ones that will be remembered for their speed and grace, but I've not had the means. Tyrion in turn shares, dreams. They can be our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. I dreamt of a world where I'd be judged for my intellect and not for my stature, but sometimes dreams are just that, dreams. By day 3, the warmth and camaraderie between Tyrion and Beric are palpable. Over the shared bottle of wine, Tyrion remarks, to dreams, Beric, may they forever inspire us, and to friendship, may it always bring us joy. Beric raises his glass to dreams and friendship, then a fine toast, Tyrion. Through these conversations, a mutual respect and understanding are formed, creating an emotional bond that sets the stage perfectly for the Betrayal Day. He's kind of going the angle of, I'm not going to make them feel like super duper special. I'm just going to build like a genuine friendship with this guy. Like, I'm just going to be like really fucking good friends. That can feel really fucking bad to have dropped. Tyrion, this is your final day. Are you ready to betray this person? Do you think you have the balls, the stature, the wit to betray this person? On Betrayal Day, Tyrion arrives at Beric's stable. Is he gonna arrest him again? In the morning, with a grave expression, he tells Beric that he has heard of a band of thieves targeting stables in this area, and that Beric's stable might be next. He advises Beric to transfer his horses to the Lannister stables for safety. Oh shit! A seemingly generous offer made by a concerned friend. Grateful and unsuspecting Beric heeds Tyrion's advice, moving all his valuable horses to the Lannister stables. However, by the end of the day, Tyrion reveals that there was no threat, and he had engineered the whole situation to acquire the horses. He offers Beric compensation for the horses. Oh, what? But at a considerably lower price than they're worth. Beric is dumbfounded and hurt, feeling utterly betrayed by someone who he had considered a friend. The fact that Tyrion offers compensation is an added blow, making him feel that their friendship was worth less than the value of his horses. The judges would likely be impressed by Tyrion's strategic manipulative play and the depth of the betrayal. However, they may also consider the lack of direct harm to Beric in their evaluation. And that is kind of true. Now, I was a little bit unnerved that he offered Beric compensation, but I think he actually did that as like an added blow. I think he was like, I'll give you $5 for him. I gave Mel a 7. Maybe I should have gave her an 8. Because this feels more like a 7 or a 6. I think the setup, not as strong. The betrayal, also not quite as strong. I'll bump Mel's to a 7.5. You know, kind of getting context on what everyone's doing kind of helps, I think. I'll give him a 7. As a judge, I would give this performance an 8 out of 10. Tyrion's approach was indeed clever and manipulative, creating a believable threat to coerce Beric into a disadvantageous situation. However, the betrayal might not have been as emotionally impactful as it could have been. While Beric did lose valuable assets, Tyrion's offer of compensation, even at a lower rate, somewhat softened the blow. I'm with you on that. The essence of the task was betrayal, and the lack of a more personal or emotional betrayal lessened the impact of Tyrion's strategy. Still, his performance was admirably cunning. It was, demonstrating a high level of strategic thinking and execution. I'll give him that. And the ones to finish this competition off is the Unforeseen Alliance! As Masane, the team lead for this particular competition of Betrayal, I would choose Littlefinger to participate. Littlefinger is known for his cunning and manipulative nature. He is the most conniving, one of the most evil, one of the most smart players we have ever seen in this game. Will he be able to top Marjorie's insane betrayal? Today, we will see. We will find out. Let's see what happens. The crowd is ready to see what happens in the final day of Betrayal. Upon entering the lively tavern, Littlefinger notices a robust man at the corner of the bar, engrossed in his drink. This man, Roderick, is a hard-working blacksmith from a neighboring town, visiting the trade his finely crafted weapons. Seeing an opportunity, Littlefinger confidently strides over and initiates a conversation, complimenting Roderick on the exquisite craftsmanship of a dagger he's seen at the marketplace. Why is everyone a fucking blacksmith? As the night wears on, Littlefinger employs his vast knowledge about weapons and warfare, impressing Roderick with his insights. They share tales and toast to new friendships, their bond steadily growing. Roderick, flattered by the attention and praise, appreciates Littlefinger's company and respects his acumen. As the day concludes, a solid foundation for their friendship is setting the stage for the betrayal yet to come. Littlefinger makes it a point to show up at the blacksmith booth in the market. He marvels at Roderick's craft and even purchases a finely made dagger, further cementing their budding friendship. They share a meal together in the evening. Wow, they're going on dates. And Littlefinger skillfully steers the conversation towards Roderick's dreams and aspirations. Littlefinger learns that Roderick has a deep desire to sell his works to the royal armory, but lacks the connection to influence. Sensing an opportunity, he offers his help, promising Roderick that he can arrange a meeting with the Master of Arms in the royal court. The glimmer of hope in Roderick's eyes does not escape Littlefinger's sharp gaze. Day 3. Littlefinger and Roderick spend the day preparing for the alleged meeting with the Master of Arms. Peter advises Roderick on what to say, how to act, and even helps him select the finest pieces of his craft for presentation. Their bond strengthens further, Roderick now viewing Littlefinger as a benefactor. As they share dinner, Roderick opens up a bit more about his life, his late wife, and his struggle to provide for his 2 daughters. His vulnerability touches Littlefinger in no visible way, but the gears in his mind keep turning. Roderick retires to bed, unaware of the betrayal that awaits him on the morrow. On day 1, as they share drinks at the bar, their conversation goes something like this. Littlefinger, observing the sword on Roderick's side, comments, "That's a fine piece of craftsmanship. You've got a keen eye for weapons, Roderick." Roderick, surprised, responds, "Well, I should hope so, seeing as I made it myself." They delve into a deep conversation about forging techniques, with Roderick being taken aback by Littlefinger's surprise and knowledge about the craft. On day 2, over dinner, Littlefinger steers the conversation to their dreams. He asks, "What does a man of your talent desire, Roderick?" Roderick, after some hesitation, shares his aspiration to work for the royal armory, which Littlefinger replies, "Perhaps I could assist you there." On day 3, as they prepare for the alleged meeting, Roderick reveals more about his life. He mentions, "You know, my girls, they deserve a better life than what I can offer them as a simple blacksmith." Littlefinger, in response, suddenly stokes the embers of Roderick's hopes. "And they will have it, Roderick. You have the skill, and with the right opportunities, you can give them the life they deserve." Through these conversations, Roderick's admiration for Littlefinger grows, seeing him as an ally and a friend. Littlefinger, however, expertly plays his role, laying the groundwork for the impending betrayal. On day 4, the promised meeting with the royal armorer arrives. Littlefinger escorts a hopeful Roderick to a grand building in the city. Upon entering, Roderick finds himself not in an armorer's forge, but a courtroom. Before he can grasp the situation, the city guard enters, accusing Roderick of selling weapons to enemy factions. A planted piece of evidence, a falsified letter with Roderick's signature, seals his fate. Littlefinger, feigning shock, expresses betrayal, lamenting, "To think I considered you a friend, Roderick! Selling weapons to our enemies, you jeopardize us all!" As Roderick protests his innocence, he's dragged away by the guards. A look of utter disbelief and betrayal on his face. Littlefinger watches his expression one of cold satisfaction. The depth of Roderick's trust, the scale of Littlefinger's manipulation, and the impact of betrayal were all masterfully demonstrated. Roderick's reactions swing from hopeful to confused, then horrified, and finally heartbroken as he realizes the extent of Littlefinger's betrayal. 7.5, that seems about right. Not higher than Mel's. Mel's is better. Yeah, let's do 7.5. 7.5. It felt about the same as Mel's. As a judge, I would rate Littlefinger's performance a 9.5 out of 10. The extent of manipulation and the depth of the bond he fostered with Roderick before the betrayal was astounding. He played the part of a friend, flawlessly exploiting Roderick's hopes and dreams for a better future, which added a heartbreaking layer to the betrayal. His strategic planning even involved a falsified letter. Oh, I'll give him that. He actually planned this out really well. Like, this guy is actually really fucked. The deduction of 0.5 points is due to the fact that the setting of the betrayal, a courtroom, could have raised suspicion and made the betrayal slightly predictable. We have a clear winner here with an average of 9.33 score. Marjorie Tyrell! Let's go, Marjorie! Yeah! She is the winner of today's betrayal competition, but that's not it, folks. This is just the beginning of this series. Mel second place. Oh, actually, Mel and and Baelish, which is fair, both tied for second. And then we have a very close third, 8.25, literally not even 0.1 off. And at the bottom of the pack, everyone, it's mind over matter. Who would have thought they would have scored the lowest on this? They're supposed to be mind over matter. Wait, I thought about it a little bit more and I changed Littlefinger's score a bit. Let me give him at least a 7.75. So, I was wrong. We have an upset. It's Marjorie in first place. And it's Littlefinger in second place. As I brought him up just a tiny bit, enough to beat out Melisandre, who is in third place. Now, challenge number 2 is not going to be nearly as mental as the previous one, Betrayal. This one is called chasing. They have to chase a specific target down who is running away from them, and do not let him get away over all things. There's so many scenes in Game of Thrones where someone's running away and someone has to chase him down. Think about the Hound chasing down the Butcher's Boy. Think about Arya running away from the Waif. Think about Theon running away from Ramsay. There's so much chasing going on in Game of Thrones all the time. I thought I had to include this challenge. We have to figure out who is gonna chase someone down the best. Each team chooses one teammate from their remaining 2 competitors to play in this game. First ones up are the losers from the last competition. That's right, mind over matter. And they choose Theon over Bran to play in this competition. The chase begins in the narrow, winding streets of Flea Bottom. The target, a nimble street urchin, quickly disappears into the bustling crowd. Theon draws a deep breath, readjusts his grip on his small net he has chosen for capture, and takes off after the runner. 3 minutes later, Theon catches the side of the urchin, darting into an alley, and he quickly follows, using his knowledge of narrow spaces from his time in the Iron Islands. The urchin is surprisingly fast, but Theon's determination does not wane. 4 minutes later, they're now running through the busy Flea Bottom market. The urchin tries to use the chaos of the market to his advantage, knocking over stalls and throwing fruits at Theon. Theon, showing exceptional agility, quick reflexes, dodges the obstacles while maintaining his speed. 12:15, Theon almost captures the urchin when he manages to corner him in a dead-end alleyway. But the urchin uses a hidden passage known only to Flea Bottom locals, leaving Theon staring at a stone wall. Oh, Theon's gonna lose some points on that when he let the guy slip right through his fingers. With a bit of wit, Theon finds a similar passage and re-emerges on the chase, and soon spots the urchin again. As they approach the docks, the urchin stumbles, giving Theon the opportunity to close the distance between them. With a stylish slide, Theon lunges and manages to throw his net over the urchin. The chase ends. Theon, slightly winded but satisfied, hoists the captured urchin onto his shoulders. He made a successful capture without causing harm to the target, impressively demonstrating his physical endurance and clever use of the environments to his advantage. Woo! Not a bad play by Theon. He was actually able to catch up to him. We thought he was gone. We thought the urchin had gotten out of there, but Theon was able to use his knowledge and find another passageway to sneak up on him and throw his net over him and capture that little boy and bring him back home with him. 23 minutes for Theon. Maybe we should judge at the very end. That way we have something to at least compare. Not a bad performance by Theon Greyjoy. Quite surprising, actually, that he was able to take him down in 23 minutes flat. But are we gonna see something far more impressive from the Khal himself? That is right, yes, Khal Drogo. Let's see how he does. Khal Drogo, with his long hair streaming behind him and an intimidating look in his face, sets off on the chase after the runner who just disappeared into the crowd of Flea Bottom. Khal Drogo does not carry a weapon, just rely on his strength and agility. Oh my god, that's terrifying. 2 minutes later, despite his size, Drogo maneuvers through the crowd effortlessly. He is used to moving in tight spaces, growing up in the crowded Dothraki Sea. His size, rather than hindering him, helps him clear his way through the crowd. Fuck, I'm stuttering. The runner, startled by the sight of Drogo, knocks over several stalls in the market to create a barrier. Drogo merely barrels through them, his determination unyielding. Upon reaching the dead-end alleyway, Drogo does not waste time like the runner anticipates. Instead, he scales the wall in a powerful leap, landing right behind the runner's path. The runner, frightened, tries to turn around, but Drogo is already upon him. He lunges, capturing the runner with a bear hug, lifting him off the ground. The chase ends. Drogo, barely winded, holds the struggling runner in his arms. His physical prowess and quick thinking providing an effective and quick end to the chase. He's already gone. He's already out of here. He is the weapon. Big ouch for Theon. That's right, Grievous. That's a big ouch for Theon. We thought that he did okay, but it looks like in 11 minutes flat, Khal Drogo was able to chase down this person and take him down with ease. The judges are gonna love that one. The Unseen Blades chooses Brienne over Arya to play. Theon Greyjoy is not looking too happy after seeing what Drogo did. Will Brienne be able to beat him? Drogo's feeling really good about himself. You see him off in the corner cheering. He's going, I believe he is starting to take out his arak and kill someone too. Oh my god, someone should probably go stop him. But now Brienne steps up to the plate and she begins her chase. Brienne, poised and alert, focused her eyes on the target as she disappears into the crowd. As he disappears into the crowd, her stern features are set in determination. Her tall figure standing out in the throng of flea bottom. I thought that said thong. 1 minute later, without wasting any time, she sprints into the crowd. Her height and strength allow her to part the crowd like a ship cutting through waves, making it easy to keep the runner in sight. The runner throws an old woman in her path. Oh, my leg, my back! Trying to slow her down. Brienne, however, catches the woman in mid-air, sets her aside gently, and continues to chase without losing momentum. My god, the judge is gonna love that one. That's crazy that she kept the civilians out of harm's way. And then a couple minutes later, the runner takes a sharp turn into the alleyway, thinking he has lost her, but Brienne's sharp eyes and swift reflexes allow him to cut him off. Brienne finds an alleyway blocked by a makeshift barricade. With her sword, she cuts through the obstacle, clearing the path and closing the gap between her and the runner. The runner, desperate and scared, tries to climb a wall to escape once again, but before he can get very far, Brienne reaches up and pulls him down with a firm yet careful grip. Brienne captures the runner. Her strength, agility, and strategy have led her to a swift victory. She holds the runner securely but gently, making sure he is unhurt. The chase ends 10 minutes, 1 minute before Drogo's. Brienne is the current leader. Oh my god, what an upset! That was a great choice by Arya and her team by picking Brienne in this challenge. I totally thought Theon did okay, but he did absolute dog shit. It is not looking good for Team Mind Over Matter right now. They are really sad on themselves. They're sitting over there. It looks like Tyrion's getting drunk over there as usual, if I'm seeing that correctly. The Unforeseen Alliance is up next and surprises everyone with their choice between Davos and Missandei. In a turn of events, Missandei, the team lead for the competition of chasing, chooses herself to participate instead of Davos. While Davos Seaworth is a capable and resourceful member of our team, considering that the third challenge can be either more physical or mental, I prefer to have him available for the next challenge, where his skills and expertise may be better suited. Missandei, very composed, steps up to take her position, waiting for the beginning of the chase. And she sees her target, and she knows that the chase has begun. Let's see how she does. Missandei, not known for her physical prowess, but for her sharp mind, sizes up her target as they bolt into the bustling crowd of flea bomb. The chase is off. Her face shows a quiet determination. She takes off, weaving through the crowd with nimble grace. Her small frame and quick reflexes allow her to slide between people easily, keeping her eyes on the runner. Seeing a shortcut, Missandei ducks into a narrow alleyway, cutting across the runner's zigzagging path. She's using her familiarity with cities and her quick thinking to her advantage. The runner notices her and changes his course, but Missandei anticipates this. She's back on his tail in second, taking another shortcut to intercept him. As the runner attempts to scale a wall, another fucking wall, Missandei calls out to the bystanders in the native tongue of flea bottom. What? That's just common. Urging them to halt the runner, the people swayed by her words and presence reach out to grab him. What the fuck? What? With the help of the crowd, the runner is caught and delivered back to Missandei. She smiles, thanking the people in their language. Her intelligence and understanding of people have led to a unique and effective capture. What? Holy shit! You know, there was never a rule against just asking people to help you. Wow, okay. In a shocking turn of events, Missandei is one of the top chasers of this year so far. Wow, in 11 minutes flat, only 1 minute behind Brienne, using her wit to her advantage and the simplicity of just ask. Ygritte, after seeing Missandei's lame play of using the crowd to help her, takes out her bow and arrow and stands confidently at the top of Flea Bottom and is ready to take them down. Ygritte, the wildling woman known for her agility and archery skills, stares down her target as they bolt into the sea of people in Flea Bottom. A playful grin dances upon her lips. This feels like a game of chase she used to play beyond the wall. Ygritte takes off after the target with speed and determination. She thinks this is all just a little game to her. Being used to the uneven terrains of the north, the cobblestone streets seem an easy task for her. She uses her knowledge of tracking and begins to predict the target's path, dodging obstacles and bystanders with nimble footwork. Spotting a roof nearby, she quickly climbs a stack of crates and barrels to gain a higher vantage point. staying true to her wildling roots. From her elevated position, she fires an arrow from her bow, aiming not to hurt but to hamper. The arrow whistles through the air and skillfully cuts the strap of the runner's bag, causing him to fall and spill, slowing him down. Egret seizes the opportunity and leaps from the rooftop, landing just in front of the bewildered runner. She catches him by surprise, tackling him to the ground. With a triumphant smile, Egret secures the runner, signaling the end of the chase, her unconventional yet effective method that certainly made this a memorable event. Okay, I totally thought she was gonna fucking shoot him in the leg. She decided to shoot his bag? Not sure why she did that, but hey, at least she fucking got him. 13 minutes flat. That's really fucking good. Style points. We'll rate this on like how stylish they did it, how effective, and their actual time. Theon took the longest by far. I'm thinking I'm going like a 4-3. Based off of how everyone else did it, it didn't seem that hard. Not very good from me. So we got a 5 out of 10 for Theon Greyjoy from Judge ChatGPT. Theon demonstrated average performance, but there was a lack of efficiency and style in his chase. He managed to catch his target, but his method was relatively basic and uninspiring, not leaving a lasting impression on the spectators. You agree with 4? Alright, we got a 4. Maybe a 5? Alright, 5.17. That's a pretty shit score, I'm not gonna lie. I totally fucked over his score here. Oh god, it went down! It went down after PEMDAS! Khal Drogo showcased a unique blend of raw power and agility, cornering his target impressively. However, he lost a few points due to the damage caused during the chase and his capture method, which could potentially lead to a deceased target. Interesting. So they wanted the capture to be really clean, so they gave him an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna be somewhere close to that too. I think a 9 from me. 7 out of 10. Brienne's approach was methodical and efficient, reflecting her disciplined knighthood training. However, her style was quite straightforward and lacked a bit of flair that could have added to the overall excitement of the chase. I kind of disagree, actually. I think Brienne's was pretty fucking good. It's between a 9 and 9.5 for me. 9.5? Okay. They gave Missandei a 6 out of 10. GPT. Harsh on the women. Ooh, am I sensing some sexism in ChatGPT? Oh, never mind. They gave Egret a 9. Never mind. Missandei demonstrated a surprising amount of agility and determination during her chase. However, she struggled a bit in the final capture, reflecting her lack of combat experience, which affected her overall performance. She was 11 minutes. Bro, I'm gonna go to 8. 3. This is equivalent of calling for backup, then taking credit after backup captures your purpose, totally gonna escape you. Alright, Grievous with the harsh reality. I think I'm gonna go with 7. I liked it though. I liked it. I thought it was a good idea. Scored. ChatGPT gave a 9 out of 10. Egret's performance was stellar. She managed to catch her target quickly, and her innovative and stylish way of using her environment and skills truly embodied the spirit of the competition. The unique combination of her wildling agility, archery skills, and quick thinking made her chase captivating and memorable. Yeah, I think I'm with y'all. I think 9.5 for this. Damn, I think we know who the winner is. Whoa, this team is so good. They got exactly the same fucking score in 2 fucking rounds in a row. My god, Egret is today's gold medal victor for chasing. The crowd's going wild for Egret. They're screaming her name. Egret, Egret, Egret. They do get the second place this time. The Unseen Blade Brienne was able to bring home the silver medal. And then in 3rd place is Khal Drogo. Woo! And then there are the losers. The people who didn't do so well this round are, unfortunately, Missandei, a little bit expected, and also Theon Greyjoy. That's okay, they're picking themselves up. They know that this wasn't their competition, but they're expecting to get some really good scores in the future. The fans really, or the judges really didn't like the way that they captured the perp there by using the crowd to help them. They said they think that was a cheat. They didn't feel good about that. Everyone else used intelligence, strength, etc. to get their perp, but Missandei and Theon, my god, could you have been slower? I could have ran out there faster and caught that stupid little urchin. Isn't that right, Bill? Why, yes, Samurai JB. I think they were right on the mark with that one. These guys on the top 3 really put their all into this competition, while the bottom 2, this one really wasn't for them. Unseen Blade 8.5, 8.3 Iron Flames, 5.9 Might Over Matter, and 7 for Unforeseen Alliance. So yep, right now we got Winter's Rose in the lead with a 9.3 3. That is so fucking high. And that'll do it for today's competition of chasing. We are going to move on to competition 3. For this third round, they have to go with the person they haven't picked yet because it is a solo round. We all know how much lying and deceiving that happens constantly in Game of Thrones. This challenge will test their ability to weasel their way out of a terrible situation. This is the lying challenge. The competitors are caught naked in the bedchambers of someone else's spouse, and they have to lie their way out of this situation and hopefully make it out unharmed. First up is Bran from Mind Over Matter. Bran Stock? What in 7 hells are you doing here in my wife's chambers? Bran, good evening. I understand the optics of the situation and it might look unsettling, but I assure you, my presence here has a profound reason. You see, I'm the three-eyed raven, a seer. I have visions of the past, present, and future. I do not control when or where these visions occur. What? Person, that doesn't explain why you're half naked. The realm of visions is not bound by the norms of the physical world. It can often be disorienting and somewhat disheveled. My clothes are a mere casualty of the intensity of the vision. I just had one. Your wife, kind as she is, offered me a place to rest as the vision took hold. What? And how did you end up in her bed specifically? As the vision came upon me, it wasn't the vision that came upon him. I needed immediate rest and your wife kindly putting me to the bed. She did not want me to collapse on the floor after all. The disarray of my clothes is unfortunate and I apologize if it's caused any misunderstanding. In my visions, I'm afraid I lose a sense of my surroundings. After a long pause, the person seems unsure, but the honesty in Bran's voice and the reputation of his peculiar powers lead them to reluctantly believe him. They let Bran collect his clothes and leave, promising to be more careful with his visions in the future. Tywin, he walks into the house, he gets the job done, and then boom! Honey, I'm home! Willem, Tywin Lannister? What are you doing in my wife's bedchambers? Willem, I assure you, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for all this. I'm listening, Tywin, but this better be good. I had received a message of utmost urgency regarding a potential threat to your house. A plot from what my spies had gathered was being planned in the city, targeted directly at you and your family. A plot? Why did you bring this to me directly? Indeed, I intended to, but the circumstances forced my hand. As I was on my way to meet you, I was followed by unknown men. I had to act quickly and decide to hide in the nearest possible place, which happened to be your home. Given the urgency and imminent danger, I did not want to draw attention to myself, so I thought it best to blend into the surroundings. And why in 7 hells would you undress? That would be your wife's idea, actually. What? She suggested that if we were found, it would be less suspicious if we were... Wait, this actually kind of makes sense. Wait, it would be less suspicious if we appeared we were intimate, rather than discussing confidential matters. A woman's gossip is less likely to raise suspicion than a clandestine meeting after all. Wait, that actually kind of makes sense. Willem, although initially taken aback by the situation, can't deny the strategic value in Tywin's plans and the lengths he apparently went to protect the house. Willem lets Tywin leave, deciding to follow up on his potential threat and cursing his misfortune for having such a ludicrous evening. It actually kind of makes sense a little bit. Alright, Davos steps up to the house. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. He goes in there, he does the business, and then as soon as he's putting his pants back on, boom! Honey, I'm home! Who's that up there? Gilbert! Davos? What are you doing here? And in such a state? Davos! Gilbert, I didn't expect you to be back so soon. I can explain, friend. You better have a good reason, Davos, or else you'll feel the back of my hand! Davos, understandable, Gilbert, and I would do the same, but believe me when I tell you, this is all a misunderstanding. You see, I've been having these recurring nightmares, waking up in strange places with no memory how I got there. Gilbert, nightmares? What kind of sorry excuse is that? Davos says, I know how it sounds, Gilbert. I've been seeking help from every maester and healer in the land. Some even suggest it's a form of sleepwalking. I've been found in the stables, atop the city walls, and even in local tavern once. I'm as baffled as you are, and quite honestly scared. When I woke up here, I was mortified. Gilbert, although skeptical, knows Davos is a good and honorable man. The absurdity of the situation, coupled with Davos' sincerity, prompts Gilbert to give him the benefit of the doubt. Gilbert lets Davos leave, but not without warning him to seek urgent help for his apparent condition. The I was just sleepwalking trick. I think we judge on creativity. I think, like, if they can execute a insane lie, then I think that gives them more points. Arya walks in, gets the business on with Gendry or whoever the fuck it is, and just like clockwork, boom. Honey, I'm home. Who's up there? She banging a girl? Wait, what's going on here? You aren't my wife's sister, Martha? Oh, sorry, my wife's sister, Martha. Arya's wearing Martha's face? Wait, what? Oh, Dennis, you startled me. What in seven cells are you doing in bed with my wife? No, this is not what it's looked like. We were just talking about your birthday surprise. Is it coming? It's coming up, isn't it? In bed, half naked? We were trying on the wait, are they threesoming? We were trying on the outfits for the masquerade ball we're planning for your birthday. It's all a surprise. We just caught the wrong time in the wrong place in the wrong, well, state of dress. Our explanation coupled with her wearing Martha's face essentially throws Dennis off. He's left confused but somewhat placated. He's still suspicious, but the thought of his upcoming birthday and possible surprise manages to distract him. Arya takes this opportunity to slip away on those, leaving the real Martha to handle the remaining suspicion of her husband. And to wrap us up is Jon Snow from Winter's Rose. Snow, what in 7 L's are you doing in my chambers with my wife? Jon, Harold, you must believe me when I say there's a good reason. A reason for being half naked with my wife? I'm all ears. Your wife, she was having a nightmare, a terrible one about a White Walker attack. She was screaming and no one else was nearby. I came to help. She was shivering when I got here, so Uh-oh, Jon's faltering. Harold, you got half naked? Gods, you must think I'm stupid as I look. No, Harold, it's not like that. She asked me to hold her, comfort her. I removed my garments to avoid alarming anyone who might walk in. My sword, my attire, the symbols of war. I wanted to comfort her, not remind her of horrors outside. Harold, hearing Jon's explanation, is initially suspicious, but what the fuck? But given Jon's well-known honesty and honor his wife's known susceptibility to nightmares, what? Harold's anger wanes, though he remains visibly upset. He allows Jon to leave without further incident, but his trust in both Jon and his wife has been notably shaken. Let's start with Bran. Bran gets points for good evening. Naked in someone's house? Good evening. You know he's deadpan. This is a pretty fucking godly lie, I think. The lie is like an 8, but like the convincingness, 5, maybe a 4. I'm down with the 7, I think. Fuck it. 7.5 for good evening. This is their best performance yet. So Bran's rating is 6 out of 10. Bran uses a use of truth mixed with the lie, providing them with some credibility. However, his calm demeanor didn't appear to totally convince the angry husband, who might just need more time to cool down. His unique situation of being a known seer might have caused some disbelief in the explanation. So he came out with a 6.7. Let's do Tywin. Yo, I'm going 9, I think. This is a ridiculous lie, but it's fucking good. That's slick as hell, right? I feel like I would absolutely not believe in this, but hey, he convinced Willem. Maybe Willem is just secretly a cuck. 8 out of 10 for GPT. Tywin's authoritative presence and bold-faced lie were compelling and controlled the narrative well. However, his abrupt exit and superiority could have further raised suspicions after his departure. Tywin's got the highest score on his whole team. Arya's Dennis was thrown off so much. Oh, but he was still suspicious. Alright, maybe I do 7.5. Arya's second attempt was a 9. Using her faceless men abilities, Arya managed to create a very believable story that combined an element of surprise and confusion. She left the room, leaving Dennis questioning himself more than her. Jon's was given a 6 out of 10. Jon's honesty, or the appearance of it, could potentially sway a less angry spouse, but his honor seemed to cause him to fumble with his lie. His hesitance might create doubts in the accuser's mind. Yeah, Jon's was not good either. He was like stuttering and stammering and stuff. You know what? Fuck it. I'll give him a 5. And so Tywin gets the gold medal for today's lying competition. Woo! You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. The crowd is chanting, liar, liar. We got a change in leadership. The Iron Flames is in first. The Unseen Blade is in second. And the Winter's Road is in third now. Might have mattered with a 6.2 is in last to the Unforeseen Alliance. This team is fucked, bro. This competition is called Hodor. You have to pick 2 teammates, 2, and they have to, one of them has to be Hodor, and the other one has to be Bran. And one of them has to carry their Bran up a hill for 1 mile or 1 kilometer. I don't know, maybe kilometers because they're British. Random things are going to be happening while they get there. Whoever does it the fastest wins. We're also going to blindfold the Hodor of the pair so that they have to rely on the person who they're carrying. And the Bran of the pair can't move at all. So it's similar to when Bran wargs in the Hodor. And how are we going to determine those random events? The wheel! I walk up to team Mind Over Matter. There sitting Tyrion, Bran, the actual Bran, and Theon Greyjoy. I asked them, hey, who are you going to choose for this competition? For the Hodor challenge, I would choose Theon Greyjoy to be Hodor, carrying me, Bran Stark, on his back. He chose himself. I think that's a bad idea, but whatever. Why don't we look at that scoreboard one more time, why don't we? E, ooh, ah. Should I'm really trying to help Mind Over Matter. Should I give them one more chance? You're not playing for first anymore, but at least try not to play for last, god damn it. Oh, there we go. Okay, it was just a misunderstanding, everyone. It was just a misunderstanding. For the Hodor challenge, I would choose Theon Greyjoy to be the one carrying a teammate on his back, and Tyrion Lannister would be the teammate being carried. What a great choice I think that is for you, Team Mind Over Matter. For the 4th challenge, I would choose Arya Stark, myself, to be blindfolded and What? What the fuck am I reading? Arya said she wants to carry Brienne! I don't think Arya can carry Brienne. Is this a joke? Are you sure you can carry Brienne? She says, it's just a joke. As Arya Stark, I must admit that carrying Brienne, who's indeed much larger and stronger, would not be a practical choice. I would select Brienne of Tarth to carry me on her back, while I direct her towards the finish line. That makes more sense. Now, you guys might be wondering, hey, JB, aren't you directing these guys a little bit better? Shouldn't they be able to use their own brains and pick their own teammates? And my answer to that is fuck you. Jon Snow with Ygritte on his back is blindfolded. They start off at a good pace with Ygritte directing Jon confidently. His trust in her is evident in the way that he responds to her instructions without hesitation. 7 minutes in, the first hurdle they encounter is a rocky outcrop, whatever the fuck that is. Ygritte guides Jon to navigate through it slowly and carefully, ensuring that he doesn't trip over. They make it past this safety. They make it past this safely, albeit at a slow pace. 12 minutes in, they come across a stream running. A stream? Me? Running across their path. Ygritte instructs Jon to step over carefully. The water is icy, causing Jon to slip slightly, but Ygritte's directions help him maintain balance. No one's fallen yet. 17 minutes in, they now reach a steep incline. It's a bit of a struggle for Jon, but Ygritte's encouragement helps keep him moving. They finally manage to climb up, panting heavily, and decide to take a short break to catch their breath before moving on. They're about a third of the way up the hill now. Let's see what the fuck happens to them. Ooh, okay. Okay, they're gonna have dragons show up and burn shit. Okay, the Night King shows up, alright, and a dragon shows up. So 24 minutes in, suddenly there's a roar from above. A dragon appears out of nowhere and starts breathing fire. Fear grips Ygritte and Jon. Ygritte instructs Jon to take cover behind a nearby large rock. The dragon circles overhead, breathing fire and burning the grassy path behind them. After a tense moment, the dragon flies away. They breathe a sigh of relief and continue their journey, now more alert than ever. 37 minutes, they've barely gotten their bearings when Tyrion Lannister suddenly appears. Jon, still blindfolded, doesn't recognize his voice immediately. Tyrion, intending to misdirect him, says, "Oh, Jon Snow, you're going the wrong way. The finish line is that way," pointing in the opposite direction. Ygritte, however, doesn't fall for the trick. She recognizes Tyrion's voice and tells Jon, "Ignore him. He's trying to trick us. Keep moving forward." Tyrion, chuckling, steps aside as they move past him. 1 hour, 2 minutes in, as they get closer to the finish line, a figure dressed as the Night King jumps out from the bushes, attempting to scare them. Ygritte yelps in surprise, causing Jon to momentarily lose balance. However, realizes it's just a street performer. She quickly composes herself and directs Jon to move past him swiftly. The performer tries to slow them down by making haunting sounds, but they continue without paying him much heed. 1 minute 17. Jon and Ygritte cross the finish line. Despite all the hurdles and distractions, they managed to complete the Hodor challenge with a respectable time. Both of them are tired but proud of their achievement. Mind Over Matter! Can I get a woo in the chat for Mind Over Matter? Disaster numero uno! Oh! Dragons show up and burn shit again? This one could, I actually think this one might have more effect than might be apparent. The competition begins. Theon Greyjoy, with his sight obscured by blindfold, takes a deep breath. On his back is Tyrion Lannister, who squints his eyes, scrutinizing the upward path. He starts giving directions. 2 steps forward and then turn slightly to your left. 5 minutes in, Theon takes each step with caution. Despite Tyrion being much lighter than him, the task is not easy. Tyrion's directions are clear and precise, though, which assists Theon in avoiding any missteps or trips over the rough terrain. They're making steady progress up the hill. 10 minutes in, Theon's sturdy legs and Tyrion's clever mind prove to be a good match. Tyrion uses his vantage point and acute observation skills to guide Theon around the rocks and roots. Their rhythm is disturbed when a particular loose rock under Theon's foot causes them to stumble, but Tyrion's quick instructions enable Theon to regain his balance without falling. 20 minutes in, they now have made it to about 1/3 of the way up the hill. Their initial momentum was slowed somewhat due to the incline's increasing steepness, but Tyrion's confident directions and Theon's resilience keep them moving forward. 22 minutes in, suddenly, the unexpected happens. A group of jesters appear out of nowhere, dancing around them, throwing pies and blowing up balloons. Tyrion, who is used to the chaos of King's Landing, tries to maintain focus and continues giving directions to Theon, who stumbles a bit amidst the madness but manages to hold on to Tyrion tightly. At 28 minutes, Theon, struggling to stay on the path amidst the distracting jesters, accidentally steps into a pie that had been thrown onto the path. No! The slippery mess makes him falter, but he grits his teeth and presses on, guided by Tyrion's unflappable directions? What the fuck is unflappable? Huh. I did not know that was a word. I'm gonna start using that. I'm pretty unflappable myself. 35 minutes in, just as they're getting past the jesters, a dragon appears in the sky. It roars, echoing through the hills, and its fire illuminating the path. Theon freezes momentarily, and Tyrion also pauses, instinctively ducking even though the dragon is far above them. The dragon swoops down and breathes fire into a tree not far from them, setting it alight. Theon instinctively tries to move back away from the heat, but Tyrion quickly directs him away from the fire and back to the path. The dragon's presence is terrifying, but Tyrion's quick thinking keeps them moving forward. As the dragon flies off into the distance, Tyrion and Theon breathe a sigh of relief. Whew. But then Tyrion spots a baby lying in their path, crying loudly, "Stop, Theon! Stop, Theon, right now!" Tyrion shouts and Theon halts obediently. 46 minutes in, Tyrion instructs Theon to kneel so that he can pick up the baby. He cradles the child with one arm and gently soothes it, stopping its cries. He then instructs Theon to stand up and continue the path, balancing the baby with his free hand and giving Theon's directions with the other. Carrying both Tyrion and the baby, Theon navigates the rest of the path with difficulty, but the end is now in sight. With Tyrion's firm instructions and encouragement, Theon pushes through the final stretch of the path, exhausted but triumphant. Tyrion and Theon cross the finish line. Tyrion places the quieted baby on the ground gently, and Theon finally lifts the blindfold, squinting at the bright sky. They both breathe heavily, their exertion clear, but they finish the challenge in less than an hour, an impressive feat given their circumstances. Team mind over matter, baby! They're coming back, they're going fast, they're carrying babies with them. That's gonna win them a lot of points with the judges. They picked up an extra person and carried them to the end. Missandei and Davos walk up to the starting line. The whistle blows and the unforeseen alliance team with Davos carrying Missandei on his back begins their journey uphill. Missandei is calm and composed, giving Davos clear, concise directions. As they progress up the slope, 5 minutes later, Davos stumbles slightly on a rock. Missandei quickly warns him, "Wait!" and he manages to regain his balance before they can fall. The communication seems seamless despite Davos' lack of sight. 9 minutes in, Missandei spots a more navigable path to the left and guides Davos in that direction. Initially, it seems to be a detour. It turns out to be a smoother and faster route uphill with fewer obstructions to slow them down. 12 minutes in, suddenly they encounter a narrow part of the path with a steep drop on the other side. Missandei expertly guides Davos, ensuring they stay safe while continuing their uphill trek. There's an intense focus in their partnership. 18 minutes in, they're about a third of the way now and have maintained a steady pace. Their team synergy proven to be a great strength, but the toughest part of the race is still ahead of them. Let's see what their disasters are. Spin that wheel! Thick ass fog. Jesters! Once again, we got jesters! A feast of hot pies! How many pies can y'all eat? I'd be screwed away before one. I think you can eat one slice. Dude, I think I can eat one pie. I think I can eat a whole pie easily. Wait, what kind of pie are we talking? I can eat this motherfucking pie. Ow. As Missandei and Davos catch their breath, a piercing fog suddenly envelopes them, with visibility reduced to mere inches. Missandei's guidance becomes even more critical. She remains calm, even as Davos begins to panic slightly, guiding him with their voice. "Davos, come here." They continue forward, albeit at a slower pace. 32 minutes, as they trudge through the fog, a group of jesters appear, prancing around them. They juggle, tie intricate balloon animals, and blast out stunning honks from hidden horns. The pair are forced to stop as a pie narrowly misses Davos. The jesters laugh hysterically, running circles around them, jingling and jangling. Missandei sternly directs Davos to continue moving, ignoring the jesters' antics. 40 minutes in, suddenly, an official's voice booms from nowhere, announcing the pie-eating contest. With no choice but to comply, Davos sets Missandei down and they approach the table laden with pies. Davos manages to wolf down 2 pies, while Missandei, to the amazement of all, finishes off 3 whole pies before they officially finally allows it to continue. Oh my god, Missandei, I told you, the skinnier ones, the leaner ones, the thinner ones, they be eating, motherfucker. They got that metabolism on their ass. After the impromptu food challenge, Davos struggles more noticeably, but Missandei motivates him to keep moving. The fog finally lifts and they're back on track, resuming their uphill climb with renewed determination. Missandei's constant reassurance and careful guidance help Davos stay focused on their goal with bellies full of pie. And finally, 1 hour, 48 minutes, they finally, the finish line is within sight. Despite the odd obstacles thrown their way, the duo manages to reach the end of the course. Both are exhausted, but they also wear expressions of triumphant satisfaction. The crowd erupts in applause, acknowledging the resilience and teamwork of Davos Seaworth and Missandei. Let's see, Brienne and Arya walk up to the starting line. As the competition starts, Brienne sets off with Arya on her back, her every step measured and sure. Arya's lightweight combined with Brienne's remarkable strength makes for a quick start, and they manage to take an early lead. Arya's sharp senses and experience navigating difficult terrains come in handy, guiding Brienne with precise instructions. She directs Brienne around sharp rocks and sudden inclines that others might miss in their blindfolded state. 15 minutes in, their pace slows slightly as the incline becomes steeper. Still, they continue to move forward at a steady pace, with Brienne leaning into the climb and Arya encouraging her with words of motivation. 22 minutes, Brienne stumbles slightly over a hidden route, but Arya quick instructions help her regain balance quickly. The pair shake off the minor misstep and continue their climb, the crowd watching in silent anticipation. The team has completed approximately 1/3 of their race. Now, let's see what kind of disasters they're gonna get. Oh my god! Okay, this is a tough one. Spontaneous torrential rain. They can deal with that. Ravens! We got the birds up in this hole. Suddenly, dark clouds roll over this clear sky and a torrential downpour begins, making the path slippery and vision nearly impossible. Arya guides Brienne more carefully now, helping her maintain her balance. Brienne's armor gets heavy with water, but her determination doesn't waver. Out of nowhere, a murder of ravens descends upon them. 34 minutes in, cawing loudly and pecking at them, Arya instinctively reaches for her sword, only to remember that she can't use her hands. Oh wait, I think they interpreted they can't move, like they legit can't move anything. I should have specified they can only move their upper body. Whatever. Brienne, however, starts swinging her head wildly, scaring most of the ravens away. The ordeal slows them down, but they continue their journey uphill. And then 40 minutes in, suddenly their vision blurs, and when it clears, they find their minds swapped due to a spell by the warlocks of Karth. Arya and Brienne's body stumbles under her unfamiliar size and weight, while Brienne and Arya's body struggles with the disorientation of being carried high above the ground. Despite the initial confusion, Arya uses her knowledge of acrobatics to regain balance, and Brienne uses her battle strategy to keep them moving forward. 45 minutes in, the spell finally wears off, and both return to their bodies. They have a moment of disorientation before Arya immediately jumps back into guiding Brienne up their path, their stride faster with the sight and in. 50 minutes in, as they reach their final stretch, Brienne, her armor drenched and heavy, musters the last strength and charges forward. Arya, spotting the finish line, encourages her with the promise of victory. 55 minutes with the final push. Brienne and Arya cross the finish line, ending their race amidst the thunderous applause from the spectators. Despite the obstacles, they have finished their challenge. The crowd goes crazy! 55 minutes! That's fast! They've done the best so far, I think, real fast with horrible obstacles. I'm with you. They actually dealt with that shockingly well. They were just like, fuck these birds, fuck this rain, and fuck my body. Daenerys being carried easily on the shoulders of Khal Drogo. Massive 7-foot tall monster walks up. The race begins and Khal Drogo, blindfolded, starts at a steady pace. Daenerys is on his back, guiding him with her soothing voice. She understands the might of the Dothraki and knows that speed isn't their only strength. They make steady progress at 3 minutes in, Daenerys leading Drogo through the uphill path. Drogo, despite his immense physical strength, is mindful of his steps as the terrain is rocky and uneven. 10 minutes in, Drogo, tuned into Dany's voice, finds his rhythm and starts to pick out speed. They're progressing steadily, their unique combination of power and grace demonstrating their formidable teamwork. 13 minutes in, they encounter a steep slope. Drogo, trusting in Dany's directions, adjusts his hold on her and starts to climb. Despite his strength, the slope slows them down. 16 minutes in, finally, they reach the top of the slope where the path becomes somewhat smoother. Dany takes a moment to ensure Drogo is alright before they continue. They're about 1/3 of the way done with the race. Ooh, and they got a random crying baby. Dany's not gonna have a good time with that. We all know that she's gonna have to pick up that baby. White! Alright. 20 minutes in, as they progress, Daenerys hears a faint whimpering sound, drawing closer. she realizes it's a crying baby, seemingly left alone. They pause, and Daenerys, with a motherly instinct, insists that they can't leave the baby. With a sigh, Drogo bends down and gently scoops up the baby in one arm while supporting Daenerys in the other. 25 minutes, the baby now secured. They continue their journey uphill. Daenerys starts singing a lullaby, trying to calm the baby while also giving instructions to Drogo. 28 minutes, suddenly, they hear an unsettling rustling around them. Whites burst forth, surrounding them. Daenerys screams, "Drogo, attack!" Drogo, responding to the urgency in her voice, starts spinning, throwing off the whites with powerful kicks and punches while keeping Dany and the baby safe. After a few minutes of intense fighting, they manage to push back the whites and continue. As they approach the final stretch of the journey, a group of kids burst from the trees. They're giggling, throwing small pebbles and sticks, running in front of Drogo to distract him. Drogo stumbles a bit, but manages to keep his balance. Daenerys yells at the kids in Dothraki, her stern voice causing them to pause and then scatter, leaving the path clear for them again. And 1 hour in, they finally reach the finish line. Drogo places Daenerys down gently, and they pass the baby to the race organizers. They're breathing hard, but their faces are lit with triumph. Despite the multiple obstacles, they completed the race with grace and tenacity. Let's get to the ratings. I give Winter's Rose. I mean, they didn't really have too much to go against, and they still went kind of slow. Maybe I'd give them a good 7. Give them an 8. Not bad. Winter's Rose. Despite the various obstacles, Jon Snow and Ygritte displayed excellent teamwork and perseverance, managing to handle every hindrance with calm and quick thinking. They were not deterred by the dragon's fire. They did not fall for Tyrion's deceit and maintained composure during the unexpected scare from the Night King performer. They had proven that they're indeed a formidable team. 8 out of 10. Better than their last performance. They're at a 7.9 now. Took them 58 minutes. Not bad. Not fucking bad. I think they could have gone a little bit faster. I'm gonna do 8. Tyrion and Theon showed effective communication throughout the challenge. Their approach to handle unexpected situations like the Jester's distraction and the babies in their path was admirable. However, they lost crucial time during the dragon encounter, primarily due to Theon's fear. They got a 7.6. That's their highest score yet. Unforeseen alliance. I'm thinking 7.5 for them. Highs. Fuck their time. Missandei and Davos showed a solid performance with good communication and navigation. However, they did lose some time with the unexpected pie-eating contest. They managed well through the fog and Jester's distractions, but they could have been a bit quicker with decision-making. 7.5 out of 10. I'd say 8 as well. They did good besides having the hardest one, yeah. They're at 7.1! That's not bad! Arya Stark and Brienne displayed incredible resilience during the race. The swapping of minds caused the Warlocks of Karth made their race uniquely challenging, but they handled the situation admirably. They dealt efficiently with the torrential rain and managed to fend off a murder of ravens, but did lose some time due to their predicament. 8.5 out of 10. 55 minutes? I think that's the fastest time. Maybe I'll give them a straight 10. So what'd they get? They got Rains. That's pretty bad. They got the Angry Ravens. Also kind of bad. And they got a fucking hard-ass challenge of getting their bodies swapped. 10, to be honest, can't remember anything meaningful that I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, I don't know if there's anything that could do better. They're at an 8.6 now. That's fucking high. They might be in the lead. Last one, Iron Flames. Daenerys and Khal Drogo proved to be a power-packed team. Khal Drogo's strength and Daenerys' direction helped them navigate the course well. They did waste time deciding on how to handle the crying baby, but their swift response to the White's attack and the mischievous kids' distractions were commendable. Yeah, I'm down with a 9.5. Drogo carried way too hard to give him a 10. I think they just could have gone a little bit faster. Their challenges weren't as hard as Unseen Blades. Holy shit! We have a tie for first place going into the final comp. And we got Winter's Rose steadily in 3rd place. And we got Unforeseen Alliance in 4th. And Mind Over Matter, of course, in last. The announcer, me, walks up to Tywin. How do you guys feel being tied for first place with the Unseen Blades? We shall enter the final round with a calculated and relentless approach, sparing no effort to secure triumph and prove the strength of House Lannister in these Olympics. A Targaryen or Drogo. We've come this far and we're not going to stop until we emerge as the champions of the Game of Thrones Olympics. Voila, Morghulis! The crowd goes crazy when Arya Stark says the phrase of the Bravosi, the House of White and Black, the Faceless Men. They're all rooting for them. It's the Unseen Blade. The crowd is going crazy. The final event is a castle siege. All teams participate in this one. All members participate in this one. All of them will fight over one fort. Whoever can hold it the longest and does it the best gets more points. We'll do this over 5 days. If a team holds it for a really long time, they'll give more points. You can maim or seriously injure, not kill. Oh yeah, random events can also happen in this one. All the teams walk up to the castle. They're in their armor. They got their weapons ready. They look at the other teams and they say, let's fucking do this shit. Day 1 of the King of the Hill style castle siege begins with a cacophony of competing strategies and clashing egos. The Unseen Blade and the Iron Flames teams featuring formidable fighters such as Brienne, Arya Stark, Khal Drogo, and Tyrion Lannister immediately go on the offensive. Brienne and Khal Drogo lead their respective teams with power and precision, creating a brutal and forceful front line pushing towards the hill. However, the Iron Flames' aggressive strategy is met with a strong counter from the Unseen Blade, leading to a standstill. On the other hand, the teams of Winter's Rose and Mind Over Matter, led by savvy strategists Jon Snow, Marjorie, Tyrion, and Bran Stark, decide to lay low, conserving their energy and letting the other teams wear each other down. They're going for attrition. They spend their day scouting the castle, finding hidden paths and weak points, ready to strike when the time is right. The unforeseen alliance featuring experienced negotiators and spies like Davos and Littlefinger also adopt a more cunning approach. They form brief alliances with other teams, stirring the pot of chaos and making the battle for the hill even more volatile. By the end of day 1, the Unseen Blade, thanks to their disciplined defense and Arya's cunning tactics, manages to control the hill. How the fuck did they get there? However, it is clear that the battle for the castle is only just beginning. The other teams, armed with gathered intelligence and conserved strength, are poised to make strong plays in the coming days. How the fuck did the Unseen Blade get there? We have to figure that out. When the day begins, the Unseen Blade's initial strategy is aggressive, led by the mighty Brienne. However, they soon realize that brute force alone won't win the control of the hill. In such a complex competition, they quickly shift tactics, capitalizing on the skills and cunnings of Arya Stark and the mystical abilities of Melisandre. You were right, Grievous! As Brienne keeps the Iron Flames occupied with the frontal assault, Arya Stark, known for her nimbleness and stealth, uses the chaos as a diversion to infiltrate the castle through a less guarded pathway she's earlier scouted. Meanwhile, Melisandre employs subtle mind games and uses her pyromancy skills to create illusions of fire, further distracting their opponent and creating a sense of panic and confusion. With the Iron Flames distracted and engaged with Brienne, Arya manages to zip past their lines and reach the hill. She takes out a few remaining guards. The rival teams who have made it there but can take hold. By the time the Iron Flames realize what has happened and try to take back the hill, Arya, Brienne, and Melisandre have already fortified their position. While the fight was hard fought, the Unseen Blade's mix of strength, stealth, and mysticism allowed them to secure control of the hill. By the end of day 1, the successful execution of their plan sets the stage for what promises to be a thrilling siege and for the days to come. Unseen Blade, they are playing to win, baby. They're going for first. They don't give a fuck about second. Let's see what happens. Day 2, baby. 1 random event a day. Let's see what the fuck happens. Okay. I don't know how the fuck this is gonna work, but alright. Day 2 commences with the Unseen Blade still firmly in control of the hill, but as the morning unfolds, the effects of the mysterious potion become apparent. Laughter ripples out from each team, turning strategic discussion into comedic banter and making physical engagements far less intimidating. The Unseen Blade, despite the uncontrollable laughter, retains its tactical approach. Arya Stark, her face constantly shifting in an attempt to confuse the other teams, holy shit, barely holds back her laughter. Brienne finds her guard duty significantly harder with each laugh, shaking her frame, but she manages to remain an intimidating presence. Curiously, Melisandre seems unaffected by the potion. Her mystical resistances come into play. Her fiery illusions remain as effective and threatening as ever. The Iron Flames, despite the contagious laughter, decide to launch a frontal assault. Tyrion Lannister's strategic brilliance directs Khal Drogo's strength and Dany's political acumen to exploit the gaps in the Unseen Blade's defense caused by the laughter and Newt's distractions. Meanwhile, the Winter's Rose team leverages the situation. Marjorie charms and manipulates in between fits of laughter, distracting Brienne. Ygritte uses her freefall combined climbing skills to scale the walls of the castle, slipping through the side entrance with Jon Snow. Oh, they both climb the wall. By the end of the day, amidst waves of infectious laughter, the Iron Flames manage to oust the Unseen Blade from the hill. Their diverse skill set and resistance to the disruptive effects of laugh and potion. Wait, what? Wait, they don't have that resistance? That's weird that it said that. I think it got confused. Whatever. The day concludes with the echoing laughter fading into the night and the Iron Flames raining over the hill. Man, this is both first place. Both first place people have controlled the hill for 1 day each now. 3 days left. What the fuck is Mind Over Matter doing? On day 2, Team Mind Over Matter adopts a more reserved strategy. They've been doing this all competition. It's time to step the fuck up. While the potion's effects take hold of all other teams, making them either overly bold or somewhat disoriented, Mind Over Matter takes a step back. Tyrion, well acquainted with handling his liquor, seems to fare best with the laughing potion. His laughter rings out a wild guffaw that surprises even him, but he maintains control and keeps his wits about him. Bran Stark, affected by the potion, but also distanced due to his mystical connection with nature, assists Tyrion with his foresight. Theon Greyjoy, despite laughing, steels himself for potential assaults. Tyrion suggests a wait-and-see approach, arguing that in their current state, launching an offensive might do more harm than good. With Bran's ability to see imminent threats, they can plan their actions better. Theon is tasked with fortifying their position and making preparations for the next assault. While the other teams fight to control the hill, Mind Over Matter bides its time, watches it, laughs, and learns. Their strategy appears to be centered around understanding the strengths and weaknesses of their opponents with the intent to strike when the time is right. By the end of the day, they may not hold the hill, but they possess valuable insights and a clear-headed strategy for the coming days. The unforeseen allies under the influence of the laughing potion initially struggles to keep their actions coordinated. However, their diversity of skills allows them to adapt quickly. Missandei navigates the situation using her linguistic prowess, creating coded messages to communicate. Davos shows his resilience by focusing on defensive strategies, and Littlefinger leverages the chaos to spread misleading information amongst the rival teams. By the end of the day, they've made several strategic maneuvers, but have yet to seize control of the hill. Alright, let's see what happens. Random event, day 3. This will be fine. Alright, let's see. Out of nowhere, these whites are gonna... Alright, let's see what's going on. Day 3 brings about unexpected mayhem as a group of whites surge from the shadows, targeting everyone in sight. The already fraught castle environment plunges into pandemonium. For Winter's Rose, Jon Snow's experience with the undead becomes pivotal. Using Valyrian steel and his tactical skills, he leads his team in an effective counterattack against the whites, eager with their unparalleled archery skills and marches quick thinking and creating makeshift barriers to help their defenses. The sudden intrusion of whites disrupts her previous strategy, making it impossible for them to advance toward the hill. The mind over matter finds itself at odds with the sudden appearance of whites. However, with Bran's warging abilities, they managed to control a few whites. What the fuck? Creating a distraction for others. Theon, though initially startled, finds his warrior spirit reignited, battling fiercely alongside Tyrion, who surprisingly holds his own, using his wit to outmaneuver the whites. The unseen blade faces the whites head-on, leveraging the combat experience of Brienne and Arya. Melisandre, despite her immunity to the laughing potion, finds herself chuckling amidst the chaos due to the lingering effects of the potion. Arya exploits her faceless man abilities, deceiving whites and dispatching them efficiently. They manage to secure their position, but gaining control of the hill remains challenging. The Iron Flames struggle initially with Tywin and Daenerys being no match for the whites physically. However, Khal Drogo's brute strength compensates for their lack of combat prowess. While they don't make much progress wait, they're holding the hill. What the fuck? They manage to hold their ground with what the fuck? Okay, that one's kind of confusing because they hold the hill, but whatever. They managed to hold their ground without any major casualties. We'll assume that they're still on the hill. The unforeseen allies, despite being taken aback, using the commotion to their advantage. Littlefinger's cunning and manipulative tactics, coupled with Davos' knack for survival, help them navigate through the battlefield. Missandei, while not a fighter, aids in developing escape routes and safe spots using her keen observation skills. At the end of the day, no team manages to take control of the hill. The whites attack having effectively reset the playing field. All teams recuperate, prepare for the next day's challenges. Okay, I was wrong. They do not have, no one has control of it. Not a single person. They all just had to fucking fight whites. A mushroom is a jester in the Fire and Blood books. He might come up in House of the Dragon. Day 4 starts the lighter tone. Despite the previous day's chaos, as Mushroom, the court jester, arrives and starts pulling pranks on each team, adding an unforeseen layer of complication to the contest. Winter's Rose is the first to encounter Mushroom's mischiefs. As they strategize for the day, Mushroom swaps Jon's Valyrian steel sword with a foam replica! The realization only hits when they make an attempt to gain control of the hill, and Jon's sword bends amusingly upon him back. However, quick to adapt, they shift their strategy with Ygritte leading their offensive with her bow. For mind over matter, Mushroom introduces a torrent of fake whites and causing initial panic. Bran, attempting to warg into them, soon realizes the trickery. Annoyed yet amused, they spend a considerable part of the day trying to catch Mushroom to put an end to his pranks. Why are you fucking around with Mushroom? You guys are getting fucked! Tyrion, in particular, seems to enjoy the change of pace, engaging in the battle of wits with Mushroom. What the fuck? The unseen blade is subjected to Mushroom's jester antics in the form of a slippery, banana peel-laden path towards them. This results in several comedic tumbles and slow progress. However, Arya manages to use her faceless skills to impersonate Mushroom, creating even enough confusion to deter him. Oh wow. For the Iron Flames, Mushroom replaces Daenerys' usual outfit with a dragon costume. What the fuck? Much of the Khal Drogo's amusement and Tywin's irritation. The time spent rectifying the situation gives the other teams an edge. However, the event does lighten their spirits and they continue with renewed energy. Mushroom treats the unforeseen allies to an assortment of losery traps, making them second-guess their every move. However, Littlefinger, intrigued by Mushroom's mischief, engages him in a game of deceptive tactics. What the fuck are you doing, Littlefinger? Despite the distractions, they manage to make some progress towards the hill. As the day ends, the teams, while considerably delayed by Mushroom attacks, manage to regain focus. The hill remains fiercely contested. The jester's interventions, while disruptive, bring a dose of levity to the proceedings, reminding everyone that the competition is, after all, a game. It's not a fucking game! You win or you die! At the end of day 4, as the pranks from Mushroom begin to die down and the teams regather their bearings, the Iron Flames make a strategic push for the hill. Using the last of the day's light, they utilize the chaos of Mushroom's antics to their advantage. Daenerys, despite her temporary wardrobe change, manages to rally her team effectively. Khal Drogo, with his sheer strength and determination, leads the charge, pushing through the other team's defenses, while Tyrion Lannister coordinates their movements with military precision. Their strategy strategy pays off as night falls, the Iron Flames manage to seize control of the hill. However, the contest is far from over, with the other teams rallying their strength for the final push on day 5. The castle quiets down for the night. The echoes of Mushroom's laughter still lingering in the air. It's clear that day 5 will be a deciding factor in this contest, with the hill and the victory represents hanging in the balance. Another dub for the Iron Flames. It's 2-1 now. Despite the ongoing pranks, the Iron Flames focus on regaining their composure and formulating a fresh plan of action. Tyrion Lannister organizes his team, employing Khal Drogo's intimidating physical presence and Daenerys' leadership skills to rally their spears. They execute a well-coordinated frontal assault on the hill, their power and determination making it difficult for the Unseen Blade to keep them at bay. The Winter's Rose, on the other hand, employs a blend of stealth and guerrilla tactics. Marjorie works on sowing discord among the other teams using her persuasive skills, while Jon and Ygritte make small but constant attacks on the hill, wearing down the defenses bit by bit. Their efforts create chaos, but the Unseen Blade manages to repel. Okay, it's assuming. Okay, I guess the Unseen Blade took over at some point. Fuck it. The Unforeseen Alliance, still recovering from their misdirected launch, focused on regaining their bearings and drawing up a new strategy. Davos and Missandei attempt to approach the hill from sides with Littlefinger, while Littlefinger tries to negotiate with the teams controlling the areas around the hill. Despite their efforts, the ongoing pranks hamper their evidence significantly. Their advance significantly. Okay, I'm gonna disregard this part because it totally should not be the Unseen Blade. It should be the Iron Flames. Meanwhile, Mind Over Matter focuses on a slower but steadier approach. Tyrion devises a clever plan to use the pranks to their advantage, creating divergence for the teams, while Bran uses his visions to guide them on the least chaotic path to the hill. Theon proves valuable in this approach, managing to hold his own despite Mushroom's pranks. Still, their slower pace doesn't allow them to gain control of the hills by day's end. So the first half, we'll say Iron Flames controlled it. Second half, Unseen Blade control it. That way this shit still makes sense. The hill is still under the control of the Unseen Blade. The team is battle-weary, but resolute, using their combined strength and Melisandre's mystic knowledge to maintain a formidable defensive line. Despite the onslaught of mischievous children pouring into the castle, Arya, impersonating one of the kids with her faceless man ability, manages to send them off track, giving the team a brief respite and keeping control of the hill. The Iron Flames are reeling from the previous day's failed attempts. They, however, gather themselves and launch a coordinated assault at the children, turning their mischief onto the other teams. Oh, okay. Daenerys, using her command over the common folk, convinces the majority of the children to side with them, causing havoc for the other teams. Holy shit. This gives them the edge, and by midday, they are advancing rapidly towards the hill. Winter's Rose, initially taken aback by the onslaught of children, quickly formulates a new plan. Jon and Ygritte use their knowledge of handling wildlings to contain the kids, while Marjorie, with her charm and political savvy, starts turning some of the children into allies. She does have a way with children. They manage to advance significantly, but the control of the hill remains elusive. Mind Over Matter, fuck them, not reading them. No, I was kidding. Despite their careful planning, find themselves at a disadvantage due to the children's antics. Let me guess, they don't get control over the hill. Theon and Tyrion try to control the situation with humor and bribes, while Bran uses his visions to steer them clear of the most chaotic areas. Nevertheless, their progress toward the hill is painfully slow. Lastly, the Unforeseen Alliance, already struggling from the previous day's setbacks, is caught off guard by the children. Davos and Missandei try to ward them off, while Littlefinger uses his cunning to divert some of the children toward the other teams. Despite their efforts, they are still far from gaining control of the hill. By midday, the hill remains under the control of the Unseen Blade, but the other teams, especially the Iron Flames and the Winter's Rose, are rapidly closing in, making the final half of the day all the more exciting. The second half of the day kicks off with each team even more desperate to control the hill. The Unseen Blade, though still managing to hold their ground, is feeling the pressure as the other teams inch closer. The Iron Flames, with their newfound child allies, now pose the greatest threat to the Unseen Blade. Tyrion and Khal Drogo forge ahead, a determined duo capable of immense force, whilst Daenerys keeps rallying the children. It becomes a struggle of wit versus force, and for a moment it looks like the Iron Flames might seize control. Simultaneously, Winter's Rose make a strategic push for the hill. Marjorie manages to sway a faction of the children to create a diversion, leading a portion of the Unseen Blade's forces away from the hill. Jon and Ygritte seize the opportunity and launch an attack, gaining significant ground. Mind Over Matter, however, still lag behind. Big surprise, guys! Bran uses his warging ability to cause confusion among the children, buying them some time to regroup. Tyrion and Theon press forward, but with minimal success, with their efforts consistently thwarted by other teams. Fuck them. On the other hand, the Unforeseen Alliance is pushed to the brink. Their attempts to take control of the hill are thwarted at every turn, primarily by the children they have failed to win over. They spend the latter half of the day in the defensive state, trying to preserve their strength for the one last push. As the sun starts to set, it's a race against time. In a surprise move, Winter's Rose manages to break through the Unseen Blade's defenses, taking control of the hill. The day ends with a dramatic twist as Winter's Rose holds the hill amidst the chaos, having snatched it from the defending champions. It's a bitter blow for the Unseen Blade, but a major victory for Winter's Rose, illustrating that the game is over until the final whistle. I feel like Final Control might even give them a full point. Let's start with the shitters. Mind Over Matter and Unforeseen Alliance. Wait and see approach? Bro, I'm giving them a 1. I'm giving Mind Over Matter a 1. They did Fuck all. I'm being generous with a 2. I mean, I'll give Winter's Rose a good... Alright, you held it for last day. Last day's pretty hard. I give you 7. But you didn't do shit. Unseen Blade. I'm gonna give him a 9, I think. They were fighting for that hoe consistently. I gotta give them less. They were good. I think I'm gonna give them an 8. 1 point less. Okay, they gave Unseen Blade 10 out of 10. The Unseen Blade managed to hold control for the majority of the competition with 2 full days of holding the hill. Despite losing control on the final day, their overall performance was impressive and showed a high level of strategy and strength. I disagree a little bit with that, but I gave them a 9. I think you give them a 9.5. They give them a full 10. Winter's Rose's performance was commendable, capturing the hill during the crucial final half of the last day. Their strategic move demonstrated their tactical prowess and adaptability. Iron Flames, 7 out of 10. The Iron Flames held control for a significant portion of the competition. 1.5 days. Their performance was strong, but they were ultimately unable to keep control of the hill during the critical final day. Mind Over Matter. Despite showing potential in their tactics and creating numerous distractions, Mind Over Matter didn't manage to control the hill on any day. Their strategies were unique and inventive, but didn't translate into securing the main objective. The Unforeseen Alliance, 4 out of 10. Similar to Mind Over Matter, the Unforeseen Alliance struggled throughout the competition. Despite their attempts at strategizing and challenging for control, they didn't manage to hold the hill at all during the competition, thus placing them at the bottom of the ratings. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. This is the end, everyone! This is the finals! This is how it all wraps up! We got Winter's Rose at a 7.9! We got the Unseen Blades at an 8.8! We got the Iron Flames at an 8.4! Mind Over Matter, 5.8! Unforeseen Alliance, 6.2! We have our winner! The Unseen Blades take it! Hey, if you made it to the end of this video, I have a really good feeling that you might want to actually be a part of my next insane Game of Thrones scenario. Come join the stream Tuesday, right here on YouTube or Twitch. In the meantime, check out this video where I'm doing something I probably shouldn't be.